this is it's been a while. Now, as the title goes, this is mainly just to discuss a lot of, I guess you could say, health. Essentially, um, if you watched my last video on Skyrim, I said I'd rather wait until I got better before I did another race, or not another race, another video, like feeling up to par. Well, I got better, I got worse. Well, that's not the main reason of this video. Basically, what this video is if my video wasn't so loud, or game wasn't so loud, is I go on these phases where I just vanish. And if you've been around any amount of time, I'm playing myself just because I'd rather not have to deal with other people right now. Hold on. Just nah. So, if you've been around for a decent amount of time, you'll know at this random I'll vanish, essentially. I just won't make videos for a huge amount of time. And I think I needed to explain myself because I felt bad that these things happen. I mean, they're not exactly getting better. They're getting better in a sense that they're starting to stop and everything, but it's still happening. And so I thought it would be a smart thing to do. The smart thing to do would be to explain. So next time something like that does happen, you guys at least have a reason why. So, well, let's start from the beginning, I should say. When I was in 5th grade, I believe, is where this all started. Oh boy. I started to develop a lot of issues, and this was all revolving around my stomach. And this went on for quite a while, where I'd go into school, and I'd maybe stay an hour, and then I'd have to get picked up because I was just in an immense amount of pain due to whatever was happening in my stomach. So it ended up turning out that I had IBS. For those who don't know, it stands for irritable bowel syndrome. Well, on top of that, I had formed such a large blockage, and I know it's gross to speak about, but it's the truth. I had formed such a large blockage in my intestines that the size of my intestines had nearly tripled, or no, it was tripled, quadrupled the size of what it was originally. And it wasn't good. I wasn't able to rid of the waste that were in my body, and it was just blocking up to the point where eventually at one point I ended up vomiting up the stool that was there. And for anyone that has had it happen, you all know it's not a very pleasant experience. So I went into U of M, for anyone who knows of it, University of Michigan, and they did some treatments. They can't really do treatments. What they had them doing was removing a portion of my intestine, and that's the main thing they could do, is just get a test, make sure everything, and they put me on a lot of medication. Now, one of these medications was a steroid, and for anyone who doesn't know, when you take a steroid, it starts to boost your metabolism, or it's something along those lines. I'm sorry, I'm 16, I'm not a doctor, I ain't nothing, I ain't the smartest, but anyways, it made me constantly hungry, and there was nothing we really could do about it. And being at the time that I was maybe 10, 11, and probably not even, it really messed me up because I didn't have any self-control, and so I would just constantly be eating. It was a really bad time. So that's honestly where I gained all my weight. And on top of all that, during this time, which was at the end of my 5th grade year, moving into my first year of middle school, I didn't have a first year of middle school up until 7th grade, as I got put on homebound because of all the medication. For anyone who doesn't understand what homebound is, essentially, it's similar to homeschooling, I'd say, but instead of having one class, you have a teacher come to you with all your teacher's homework and everything similar to that. And so we set it up so that 2 days out of the week, a teacher would come to my house and deliver homework to my house, and I would do it, and that was that. But during all this time being away, I began to get depressed and really just stressed out because of everything going on. I mean, when you're only like maybe what was that 3 years ago, so this was around, I guess I was like 12, 13, something like that, a bit older than I thought. Sorry about that. But when this is your first year of middle school, and that's in my opinion, that's sort of the year that really defines your personality, I guess is how I can say it. Basically what I mean is, how are you going to react around other people? Because when you're going in elementary, it's not that big of a deal. You make friends like that. But once you're in middle school, everybody gets their little cliques. And I felt like when I returned in 7th grade, I had nobody. I really didn't. Because nobody could really understand what happened. And not only that, but I was still taking time off and on and off and on, to the point where I would miss like half the year. At the end of the year, I had over 200 missing assignments that I just couldn't keep up. I became even worse. I began to just stack up even more weight going on, and it was just a vicious cycle. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as it was, but it's still kicking. So fast forward, I guess, till 8th grade. The 8th grade came around. I finally found like a group of people that I was like, oh, okay, these are my little clique of friends that I'm comfortable with. And it didn't really last long, unfortunately. As soon as high school came around, they all decided, they all changed, except for one, and he's been around for long, but I won't get into that. Anyways, so like I said, fast forward. So let's fast forward even farther. So first year of high school started off pretty bad because of some family issues. There was a lot of times where I really didn't feel like it was worth staying at school or even being around my family. I just felt like a nuisance because my mom, she was a single housewife doing her best. Not housewife, but you know, I messed that up. She's a single mother. She's doing the best she can. I just felt awful for everything I had to, all the strain I put on her, really. Because we'd get into these big arguments about why I wasn't going to school, why I still wasn't feeling good. And all this time, I'm still on this medication called, I think it's Miralax. Yeah, Miralax. It's essentially a powder, and it helps your bowels. Now, the issue is it didn't really matter, is the size of my intestine was still, like, larger than what it originally was. So I would still get blockages, and it felt like hell, really, because I mean, I'd get to these points where I'd feel just constantly depressed. I'd feel like I can't move, I couldn't do anything, and I would just get depressed. I'd start eating, and get a vicious cycle. And this went on for, I would say, up until really the end of my first year of high school. That's where I think I really decided to take back, because right before our Christmas break, probably beginning of December that year, I started to get these really bad pains again, where I just couldn't, I really couldn't, it was just like I'm trying to collect my thoughts, it was just like how it all began, basically. So we all got worried that maybe this blockage was coming back, and it was, but we'd caught it in time to the point where it wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. So, like I said, we caught it in time. So we were able to stop it pretty effectively, but I still took another month of school off, and so it just pushed me farther away and away from pushed me far. You know, honestly, I really shouldn't be doing this super non-serious, whatever. And it just pushed me farther and farther away from people. And at the time, I met some really nice people from online when all this started, but it fell through pretty quickly with some of them. But so during this time of the second time being found, I like I said, I got even worse, and to the point where I really just, like I said, I didn't want to be there. I non-sugarcoated. I really just, I couldn't deal with it. I felt like I was a waste of space. I felt like I said, it just wasn't worth it. I felt bad for my mom, who was, at the time, just trying to get by with everything going on. And she's doing much better now. We're all doing much better, I'd have to say. All of my family. But, I still get these phases, and just recently, I had to take about 4 weeks, another month off. And this time, I had put my mind to it just to keep everything in check. So, I'm trying my best. I'm very sorry for, like, lack of uploads and everything, but I'm gonna do a better, like, draw my life, I guess, like, on a legit one, when I reach a milestone. I don't know a milestone. Maybe if I ever somehow manage to make it to 1,000, maybe. But summer is just right around the corner, being that it's, what, the 20? No, it's, like, just about, I have just under a month, I think, or just over a month left of school. But once that's happened, I'm gonna try my best to be back and active on the channel. But like I said, I just wanted to clarify some stuff. I definitely never want to quit YouTube, as you know, I don't really get comments, but I never want to do that. It's just when I get into these phases where it's not really the blockage anymore, it's just the irritable bowel syndrome, and then it kicks back in. There's no really cure to get rid of it. There's no cure to get rid of it. There's only ways to mask it and keep it, like, off the radar for just a little while. But it's everything else, it builds up, and I just get depressed. And like I said, I don't have many friends as I wish I love to, I don't really know how to describe this. I love being polite to people, if that makes sense. But when I'm just so out of it, I feel like I come off as really grouchy and pissed off. And I hate that, and I don't want it to be a thing, but so I honestly am just hoping that this little clip, or this little, well, not really little, like 15 minutes, summarizes why I go off on these just disappearing acts. I feel really bad, and I try to promise myself, I'm like, when I feel better, as soon as I feel better, I'm gonna go back on there, and I'm gonna work my way back up, because I'm still at 60 subscribers. I'm gonna get to 100 and then 1,000, so on and so forth. And when I do, I'm gonna feel amazing. But it starts to kick in, like I said, I get depressed, and then I start doubting myself, saying like, oh, you're just gonna make this, and nobody's gonna come out, and nothing's gonna happen. It's not gonna be worth it. you're not worth, like, it's not worth it to do any of this. You should just stop. So, and I try my best to not do that. Honestly, I mean, it's taking me a lot of guts right now to just come on here and talk about all this, but I felt like it was necessary just so that I get this fresh breath of air, essentially, I guess. I'll probably make like a better updated one of these in the future when I have better software and better everything, because like, I mean, right now I'm literally just streaming from my PS4 playing GTA 5 stupid ass stunt races to make a video about this. And I mean, if I knew how to, I would just record over. But I'm still learning. Definitely still learning. But so I won't get it much more into it right now. If you have any questions, I guess just I'll try to answer my best. To the best of my knowledge, and I guess that's it. I really hope. Well, I hope this video informs. Not. I guess you would have enjoyed it. Just maybe be like, oh, I like racing. And I don't mind listening to a kid ramble on for what, 16, 17 minutes. So, anyways, I thank you everyone for watching. If you did watch it all the way, I don't know, type, hey, I watched it all the way, man, in the bottom of in the comments. And I will hopefully see you all really soon for actual content that's not sad. I did stuff like that. So anyways, I'll see you all next time. Thank you for everyone for watching, and I'll talk to you later.